I left university, went to start the shawarma business that I mentioned. One of those days where a customer came, paid for shawarma, he was giving change, and a few minutes later he came back and said his balance was not given to him. And I was like, no, we gave you your balance. Unfortunately, there were no CCTV cameras to have shown that.
Yeah.
We then got into an argument, things got really unpleasant, and I went home that day. And I thought to myself, Richie, is this the life you want to lead? Whether you will be fighting with someone over very little, And then I thought about it. How much reach can I get with this, right? So that night, had all that thoughts. My parents were in the house. My brother, Winner, was back in Nigeria. At the time, he was in the house. Nobody knew anything. I picked up my bags before morning. I went on the road. I was out of Uyo, out to the north. It was such a bold move that I made. And I look back and I'm like, how did I have that audacity? I did not know anybody from there. I didn't know how I was going to live, where I was going to live. I just had a few monies that I'd made from the business that we were running. And I just felt like, okay, I can go and start something. And it was on the back of, if we were successful with advertisements, and we've identified some of the problems that we saw. And one of these problems was the access to the raw materials. We were not getting the raw materials from the farmers. We were getting it from the retailers, the wholesalers. How about we try to do the same thing, but this time around, got it from the farmers directly? So I took the bold move. I did not go to the bus station to buy a ticket. In Nigeria, you call it along. I don't know if you know what, just stay on the road. And you just stay on the road, oh wow. And flag vehicles. And all of them were not going to Kebbi State, because I heard then Nigeria and Kebbi were the largest producer of beans at the time. So this one stopped me. This vehicle will stop me along somewhere close to the next state, and then I'll join the next vehicle that'll take me there. And then when I arrived there, I slept at the bus park for 2 days. Wow. At the bus park. And for those 2 days, the only person I was in communication with was Winner. I did not tell him where I was. I just told him, I'm coming back, I'm fine. I tried to close off every deterring voice that would tell me, no, you're making the wrong decision. And that is not because I do not want to take advice from people, far from it. It's rather because I had a data that I had taken from years back that showed problems that I think we could solve for. At least let me get to where the problem is, and then we can then figure out whether we can solve for it or not, So I then took that leap of faith, went there, stayed at the park, slept at the park for 2 nights until I was able to get a place. But then, thankfully, because I had not done my NYSC, I then applied for NYSC while I was there. They posted me to, I think it was Rivers, but I walked it's to the north. And the reason I did that was because I was told that as a copper, you get a lot of free perks. You could get free land to cultivate. And for that 6 months while I was there, before I was able to enroll for the NYSC, I asked a lot of questions. I engaged several people. And I remember one military person that I met. I told him my story and the interest that I had and why I was here. And then I asked him the size of the parade ground, that if one were to cultivate beans the size of that parade ground, how much would it normally cost? And then he said between 500 to 600,000 naira. I said, okay. Now, when you harvest, how many bags would you be able to get out of it? And he was like, oh, between 90 to 100 bags. Hey, I brought out my compound calculator. Called Winner immediately. Can you find out how much is a bag of beans in Akwa Ibom State or Lagos or wherever? Winner got back to me and I punched it. We're going to be making almost like a 4-5x return. And then I asked him, okay, so to rent this size of land, how much would it cost? And he said 50,000. I said, for the site, he said no, for the whole year. I said, is that really? He said, yeah, that's the truth. We embarked on the first project. As against the 90 bags or 90 to 100 bags that we were told we were going to get we got barely 2 bags. Howbeit, on social media, I documented the journey I still had some of the videos, from where I joined them in planting, joined them in the whole process. I was always posting on my social media. Even when we harvested the 2 bags, I posted the harvest process. Now, there were some people from the orientation camp that were in my run, that were seeing the whole process. And they saw that I harvested. And to my greatest surprise, shout out to Debola, that's his name. Debola was the one. He reached out. He said, Regis, you said you will stay back.
So you did.
And you did. And you saw the planting process from start to finish, and you've harvested. And he said, are you taking investments? Oh, wow. That's interesting. From using all the money that we had to do the first project, and we didn't know where we're going to get to again, what the next step was going to be for us. And I said, yes, we can do that. We're like, okay, if we gave you $1 million, how much do we get in return? I said, okay, we can give you like 30-40% in return. We're like, okay, let's do it. Send me documents.